Hello there, commanders, and welcome to another episode of Gladiator faction preview. And we have another new exciting unit type, which is Beast Slayers. As you can see, it has a very uniquely looking trident unit icon, and I can imagine it has bonuses against beasts, as in dogs, horses, and elephants. Speaking of horses, here they come. So let's get our first ability, or second, the first that we are going to talk about, which is the Javelin. It is barbed javelins, and, well, it's regular javelins, but if you can read it at the end, it says these projectiles deal additional damage to elephants and cavalry. So let's use that, and let's see the bonus damage. 64. It's also a pretty short cooldown of only 15 seconds, so let's quickly compare it by throwing it at some infantry. Let's see. And that's 32, so it's double damage to cavalry and elephants. Maybe even more to elephants. I would probably assume it's the same. Okay, let's get into melee and let's start using our abilities.
There's no escape.
I can get some flanking done. Defiance, okay. Let me use my Undefeated. And as you can hear, Crixus yelled pretty loudly, I am, or we are undefeated. Which means that yes, these guys also have voice acting, which means that the works from this faction also started during wargaming times, just like it was the case with Persia. Okay, so our second ability, but first on the lineup, is Leg Sweep. Strike, damage, knockdown, debuff. It has a very similar icon to Hamstring. I can already see that the effects are also very similar. Strike at the enemy's legs, causing knockdown and reducing their melee attack, speed, and turn speed. While Hamstring only decreases speed but by 80%. This one, for 8 seconds, same as Hamstring, it decreases turn speed by 50, movement speed by 50, and melee attack by 15. Let's get on the archers. So that's really good for finishing with archers, as it will be much slower, and you can get and count them down. As your commander suggests, we can also throw in our second strike in there, except they're running away. So we can throw javelins. Javelins will... throw javelins? Can we? Classic. Yep. Okay, we cannot throw javelins because... fuck me, I guess. Well, fuck us, since I was using we. And there we go. Leg sweep. I could use to be on R, but it's on 4. Because Hamstring is always on R, as on 4 is a charge. But yeah, it's a different unit. And then the third ability is Indomitable, which we already know from the previous unit type that we've covered, which were the Gladiators. Unless I decided to change the schedule, because, well, the schedule is not settled yet. I'm just recording these videos as quickly as possible, and I'll figure out the schedule later. Okay, we have done some successful flanking. Let's get onto E. You can use other dash to go faster. I know it's on cooldown, and I want to get to use the melee attack path. Let's say I don't need it. Okay, maybe use javelins here to finish the unit off. Well, never mind, now it's not routed. Also, that wasn't enough to drop them below 10.
An enemy capture point is under attack.
Yeah, let's maybe try attacking the charge from these guys.
Weapons at the ready.
Oh, there are folks when coming. Let's go.
Weapons at the ready. Your command?
Aha!
Leave no ground.
Okay, in the flank. I got bamboozled.
Attack. Slay them. Show me blood. Put them down.
Domination.
So, yeah, let's get into the unit itself. So, whoops, as I kick my fan, sorry for that.
Our
If you hear it in the
capture
background,
point is contested.
if you hear it running, then yeah, that's my fan. So yeah, the unit itself,
We have secured a capture point.
well, let's look at the stats. Melee attack 146, melee defense 96. So it's still more like a sword unit rather than a spear unit, but it has bonuses against cavalry and elephants, and possibly dogs as well. So it is a unique niche because, well, glaives also have more attack than melee defense. They don't have shields. These guys have shields. Spearmen have shields, but they have more melee defense and less melee attack. Yeah, there's that.
Break their bones!
You break their bones. Yeah. You can also
Them down!
swipe their legs or cut them down. I'm getting surrounded here, and I do not have any morale buffs. This one gives you morale, but it's on cooldown.
Weapons at the ready.
And a reflank from Folksman is enough to
Our
rock me,
unit is rooting.
which is quite unfortunate.
They will break on our shields!
We can also use this
No
in melee.
ground! Got them!
It's better to stagger your leg sweeps, especially since it gives -50 melee attack, so it should give -50 melee
Show
attack
me
to
blood!
everybody who touches me. So you're essentially,
Weapons at the ready.
well, it's 30 seconds cooldown and 8 seconds duration, so you can have it up for 24 seconds out of 30. So pretty much almost always
Our
active.
unit is rooting.
And when it's 50%, maybe it's not much, but over time, if it lasts for long enough, it stacks.
Our capture point is contested.
And obviously, I can use it to run away
Got
if I wasn't
them!
hamstrung myself. But I'm not. But I'm just stuck too deep. So I'll be dead over here. And, oh, maybe I won't. Got out just in time, and now adrenaline rush. And now bye-bye. Nope. I'm in
We
melee
have
somewhere.
secured a capture point.
Yeah, there we go. You could try healing, but they have archers over there, so... so yeah, they have bonus against those cavalry units and elephants and possibly dogs, as I was saying.
An allied capture point
So I
is
think
under-
it will synergize nicely because with Crixus, because you usually have bonus melee attack and bonus melee weapon damage. And Crixus has 2 abilities that increase your melee weapon
Our
damage.
capture
A
point
strike,
is
so
contested.
well, it's for 10 seconds, so it is noticeable. And also undefeated, so you get 46 melee weapon damage from those 2 abilities at their base level. And then that stacks multiplicatively as well with the bonus damage that you're getting against elephants and cavalry. So I would expect that while facing those 2 unit types, we'll be able to wreck them pretty quickly. Also, there's only 50 soldiers, so again, the same logic as with, actually even more, wow, it's, yeah, the previous one is 21, so this one has actually less health. Yeah. So a little bit less health, 393 compared to 419 to the tier 10 gladiators, but that's not that big of a difference. Roughly 2,000,
A new capture
just
point
slightly
has
above
become
1,000
available.
in the end.
Loose
And dogs try
missiles!
to run away. Now we're going to slow them down. Or we're just gonna get here into the thick melee and use that +9. Well, it's not really +9. So actually that incentivizes me to blob a little bit and get closer to these guys. But also changes updates constantly. So yeah.
Show me blood! Crush these weaklings!
See how we do against spears. That's pretty well. We're landing decent hits. And quite a lot of them as well. Also inimitable.
An allied
Makes you more
capture
tanky.
point.
Let's see, can we observe any bonus damage against dogs? It's really hard to see that in a melee fight like this, in a blob fight. Also, they just have less armor than regular Spartans naturally. 41, 46, should have 40. Actually, not that less, not that much of a difference.
Weapons at the ready!
So then it should be actually pretty similar. So we could actually observe some bonus damage if it wasn't
Half of
an
the
absolute
enemy
mess of
team
a
has
blob
been
fight.
eliminated.
Maybe another time. Or you can pause the video, zoom in, and see it more
enemy
closely.
base
And now
is
we have a
under
blob of
attack.
only dogs. That's perfect. And again, if you're wondering about the commander abilities that I'm not really showcasing but I'm using, it's because ooh, that was a nuke. Nice.
Our main base is being attacked.
That is because I already made a video on Crixus himself,
An allied captured point
where I
has been
covered those
attacked.
abilities in depth, so I don't need to do it again. I still talk about them and how they synergize with the unit type. Okay, we're landing his. Yeah, we're using this though. That's plus 25. It's still going because I activated over here, right? I activated
An allied
2 minutes
captured
ago,
point
so
has been
definitely.
lost.
That is pretty good as well because these units are pretty fast. Still getting the debuffs inside forests, so they're classified as heavier medium infantry. Give me a sec.
A new capture has become available.
And I'm back. Hello there again. Yeah, lovely vacation preparations.
Half of the enemy team has been
I've lost
eliminated.
all the points. A got backcapped. Maybe I can make it there in time before it does. Oh, these bots are actually coming back. They recognize. Well, it was flipped, so now they recognize it, obviously. Okay, let's do the adrenaline rush. So, yeah, that's essentially a charge speed up, but I can use it while walking through units, which is something that I have already explained with Crixus. Preview. Okay, there's only one unit, so I wasted my
Our
undefeated.
capture point is
It's
contested.
actually almost off cooldown already. Past half. It's a very long cooldown, so past half doesn't really say much. My team is getting B back. They should be able to block it off as well, hopefully. So yeah, obviously I'm not playing to my best ability as I'm focusing on reviewing the unit. But then again, this video is going to be unnecessarily long because of the battle being also unnecessarily long. It's good if I crash them because I pretty much have already talked about everything. But hey, maybe something comes up. Let's see the damage that I am able to deal with these dogs. And I will not use any abilities to not get any buffs.
Capture point is under attack.
Although this happens, and it does give me melee weapon damage.
A new capture
It also
point has
unbacked
become
because now I can see
available.
it. Oops, I couldn't.
Our capture point
Let's see,
is
we are
contested.
dealing 137, 164, I think, 150, 170 actually, 180 I think I saw as well. Maybe it was a back hit or side hit, so no shield involved.
The
Oh, this is a
enemy is
strike.
halfway towards victory.
Bam! Ooh, 243. Okay, let's speedrun it and get another V. Ignore the dogs. Maybe we can find another rank 1 unit that isn't dogs to see how we would fare against, for example, Palatini. Although that's much more armor, again I would assume. Actually not again.
Our
Okay, let's
capture
go
point
after
is
Weapons
contested.
at the ready.
and see how much damage per hit I will be doing to them. If it will be much less. Ah shit, rank up to rank 3. That's
We
unlucky.
have secured a capture point.
These are special javelins. Oof, it's almost half HP.
A new capture point has become
Spears!
available.
And my units are not full soldiers as
Weapons
well.
at the ready.
Well, 47, but here 30 and 36. And it's off cooldown again. Bam! That is super strong. If I was Spartacus and not Crixus, I would have access to a charge. But still, I catch them. There we go.
Weapons at the ready.
That's pretty
Our
good.
unit is under
That's
attack.
an example of how beast slayers are slaying beasts. Just catch them with barbed javelins first, slow them down, deal a lot of damage to
Player
them.
has been eliminated.
Catch up to them with adrenaline rush or the charge. I think it was Blaze of Glory of
We
Spartacus.
killed Hasdrubal.
That's a big blob fight, and I would like to heal,
An enemy
let's
captured
screw
point
that.
is under attack.
And we'll just use our undefeated on this fight. That's not a
Our
powerful
main base
ability,
is being attacked.
and we're dealing a lot of damage.
A new capture point
yeah.
has become
Even
available.
the spearmen from the front, they are in defiance, though they are in break ranks, so... Now they're in defiance, there we go.
They will
I
break
use
on
this to
our
make
shield.
myself more tanky. I'm guessing you didn't use it. And that was the same. Perfect.
Spears.
Oh, there we go, this new route. Was it me who applied a flank? Probably not. Somehow, it is being flanked from the rear, so maybe it was me. I definitely did flank this in from the rear, yes, that definitely happened.
Cut them
There we go.
down. I smell blood.
I can't really leave melee for too long because I don't want undefeated to disable. You should show up a counter, since it's a toggle. You should show the deactivation timer over here, rather than you having to count to 10
Weapons at the
in your
ready.
mind.
Put them down.
Same should be about vengeance and perseverance and all abilities like that. Does it apply to what is it? Ad Portes? Because they kept changing Ad Portes, but I think Ad Portes is just has its own timer, but it also has deactivation. So yeah, that could be confusing in terms of Ad Portes. As you can see, we are able to power through so Crixus with this ability ongoing. It's essentially Vengeance, just slightly different. But boosts your melee abilities quite significantly. Although it depends on the number of enemies around you. And at the moment, there are not that many. But even those small, almost dead units, they contribute the same amount of bonus stats that a full unit would.
The enemy base is under attack.
Spears.
These guys just got nuked with this.
Quick march.
That's a really strong strike. Imagine this with Gladiators as well, who have Execute. Another very powerful strike. So we use this, add a plus 25 melee weapon damage, and use this, that's plus 21 melee weapon damage, and then you use the other one. Well, I'll probably be able to make a video on it, because the guests that we are supposed to have are getting slightly late, so I do have a little bit more time. So maybe, hopefully, I'll get through, which means
Half of the enemy
this battle
Weapons
has
at
to be
the
short.
ready.
I really need to speedrun these battles. Next time I'll just back up in. I mean, if I back up, then I
The
will be
enemy has
with the
lost
units
the
because I
capture
won't
point.
be fighting. God damn it. But okay, we're getting all points now,
There's no
so that's good.
escape.
And
An
it
enemy
should be
capture point
pretty
is under
fast
attack.
a victory within 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes.
We have secured a capture point.
Ah, there we go. So let's summarize, and then I want to be
Enemy
talking
team
after
has
the
been
battle.
eliminated.
So overall, Beast Slayers, I'm also quite impressed. They seem strong, and as a counter to cavalry and probably elephants as well, they're pretty good. Especially against elephants, because elephants have AoE attacks, so higher HP pool is going to be better because of it. You have more concentrated damage. Melee weapon damage 305 on rank 3. I have rank 2 dogs over here. Let's see that.
Half of
Melee
the
weapon
enemy
damage
team has
272.
been eliminated.
Yeah, pretty much the same. So
Weapons
it
at the
doesn't have
ready.
really more melee weapon damage, but I have 2 abilities that increase it if I play with
Leave
Crixus.
no
Our
survivors.
unit is under
That's why I
attack.
would recommend playing with Crixus
Got them. Spears.
with these units, for these units.
An enemy player has been eliminated.
And then, if you surround an elephant, I would expect that elephant to go pretty
Weapons at the
quickly.
ready.
Just look at the damage I'm dealing to this cavalry. It's literally just melting. And I don't have undefeated active. And I didn't use the strike. And it's going down so quickly. And I haven't healed, no, I did heal once after I could almost kill. I recalled back to the base. But yeah, apart from that, after that, I haven't healed a single time. So yeah. Then again, it's against noobs. Okay, yeah, well, that's pretty much it. I'm impressed. Another good unit that I will be looking forward to playing. And I hope you will too. Although, one thing that lacks there is throwing nets. That's a meme, I know, like on real Battlefield it doesn't work. But in game, it could work. And here it materializes in the form of leg sweep, I guess, but... And also barbed javelins also slow you down as you throw them. But nets could be somewhat unique, like more slowdown than javelins, but less damage. Same as with hamstring. More slowdown, but fewer effects compared to leg sweep. Yeah, would be cool if we had cast nets or throw nets ability in the game. But help us bring the warrior back to the west, link in the description and on your screens right now, hopefully, if I didn't forget about it. And I'll see you in the next Gladiator faction preview video and on Arena's Battlefields Commanders.